So welcome to the introductory episode of the You Get Me podcast, a psychology-based podcast where we talk about the everyday mundaneness of existing on planet Earth, and we mix it all up with the comedic aspects of life and how Earth is a fucking space rock with water, and I'm just like, oh shit, how was any of this work? LOL. I am your host with the least, Pompeii, and for trying to get the ball rolling, and I figured why not just do the pilot episode as an introductory so people could understand what the podcast is going to be about. So that's what I'm here doing today. This podcast mainly, and this is the reason why it's called You Get Me, is to give kids, mainly teenagers, even adults, because adults can grow, whether or not people want to think they can or can't, whatever. We want to interview people from all different colors, races, creeds, whatever the F, gay people, black people, Asian people, people in general. We want to hear the story of a person that may have had the struggle growing up, coming on the come up of life and figuring out who they were at the time, and then just, having an understanding with themselves that this is the person they wanted to be. And it is, for right now, like I said, it is a one-man show. This is the pilot episode, but when we're branching out forward, when we're going to move past the first episode, we're going to get through it together. We want to interview people who have had tough times in life. And not because we want to hear the sub stories, but because we want to hear how they made it past it. How the gay kid that was trapped in the closet his whole life couldn't get out until he finally said it, or whatever. Or how the black dude that was getting pulled over by cops all the time was finally like, fuck these police. And he got out of the hood and did that. Or how the white guy in the suburbs was beat by his dad because he drank too much. Life is full of problems. People have to understand that. Every day you walk past a certain dude on the sidewalk and then you're just like, fuck him because his hair looks weird. And then you think about it and then you're like, whatever, it's not even a second thought. But that dude he's thinking about his wife and how he's going to go home and make her dinner, and he's people with ideas. That's the real world. Like, there's no room, in my opinion, for the hate and the judgment that people get. I am very open to laughing and making fun of people if it's constructive and not totally destructive. I laugh at people all the time, sometimes at the expense of them, but I try to keep that side of my personality buried because I feel like there's no room for judgment and hate, at least in my life. I live very positively, or at least I try to. I do curse like a sailor because why not, man? It's just words. People have to choose to get offended by them. And if they do, then all I have to do is apologize to you. I have to say sorry that you can't appreciate a good cuss word. They're just words. And you have to choose to get offended by them, which is part of your psyche, and it's a personal issue that you're dealing with. The You Get Me podcast is a psychology-based podcast where we talk about the brain and what it does by itself. Because perception is it's a weird road that you walk on. You can see people in the street and you can say, look at a drug dealer, when he's not a drug dealer. He's just a dude walking to college or something. And and it's like, people have so many preconceived notions on what life is and preconceived notions on other people, and they make assumptions and they do things, and that's perfectly healthy. It's what normal human beings do. But I want people to just take a second and understand where everyone else is coming from. Not that we're coming from anywhere different. We're all born on Earth, okay? But I would like you to take a second and think about your brothers and sisters and just understand that we're people with hearts and brains and lungs and fucking intestines and a bunch of shit. Like, we're all the same, and we're cut from the same cloth as people, as individuals. We all have skin, we all have eyes, we all have the same thing. The only thing that differentiates us is our sense of individuality and maybe your sense of fashion, the music that you're into, the books that you read, the movies that you like. It's all part of culture, pop culture. I like movies, I like comics, I like fucking wrestling. I'm a big WWE fan, and I know wrestling is kind of a dead art at this point. People are like, fuck that fake shit. I watch UFC. And I respect both UFC and WWE because there's art in both. I'm not here to rant about wrestling, but I am here to introduce the podcast itself and just talk about what you should expect from this podcast if you do decide to take the journey with us and lend us your ear for maybe an hour, maybe two. We don't know where the conversations will go. We don't know anything at this point. So we're just trying to do us. We're trying to live our lives and exist in the same plane as everyone else. That may have sounded like a bunch of hoopla, a bunch of existential bullshit, but it's just words. It's literally just words. And I want people to breathe a sigh of relief and just have some fun with your life. Don't hurt people, don't inhibit consciousness. It's one of like the worst things you can do. But this podcast, like I said, is an outlet for people to come and listen to stories of the past. Even though I do say a lot of times, never dwell on the fucking past, because it does get you weird spots. But if you tell a story of triumph and a story of how somebody got out of their dark spot, that is one of the most beautiful things you can do. And it's words of encouragement that someone may not have heard otherwise. If you choose to not speak your story, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to share everything about you with everybody. Privacy is something I respect a lot. And I would understand if people are hesitant to come on the show and talk about things, because I'm not seeking out Kanye West. I'm not seeking out Justin Bieber. I don't want the top-notch guests. I want the dude in the corner selling drugs for his daughter to go to school. I want the dude that, the trap queen that fucking goes to the club every night, just to understand why she does it. Not because I'm a perv or whatever the fuck, even though I do like women. I'm not going to deny that. But I wish people had an understanding of other people. That is mainly the goal for the podcast, so people can hear other people talk. There's a lot of racist people that still exist in today's age. What if a racist person, a southern hick type dude, comes on randomly? Here's the podcast. Here's a black guy tell the story, coming from the hood and coming from the places that he went, a place of suffering and shit. Maybe that racist person can be like, oh snap, like that is fucked up. And maybe he can even relate to the story somehow, because growing up in the South, the good old boys, the country system, it's peaceful. You have farms, you have agriculture, you have beautiful stuff there. But, a lot of the times there is some shady shit that goes down. There's a lot of corrupt churches down there, and it's just me speaking the truth. I'm not trying to call out the church or anything like that. Fucking praise be to the God, whatever. You do you. Everything's cool, in my opinion. But basically the idea for the podcast is just, like I said, give people the outlet, give people the message if they want to hear it. And it's not even like an existential message of how to live the perfect life. It's just people have to want to live. And it's sad that you may think like, oh, people are alive just because they're alive. Just because your heart is beating, it doesn't mean you're alive. And that sounds like some more habla. But if you're living the most mundane of lives, the 9-to-5 office job every day, and you go home depressed as fuck doing the same thing over and over again, fucking Groundhog Day all over again, all I have to say to you is you are complacent, and you have become complacent because of the constructs of you were a victim to circumstance, and it's unfortunate what happened to you. But what I learned in my psychology class when I went to community college, they said the human psyche has the ability to perceive pattern, and once you perceive pattern, you have the capability to disrupt pattern. And it's not saying like, oh, disrupt people, fuck with them. Nah. Psychology people talk about pattern and how the human psyche has the ability to disrupt pattern. They're talking about the mundaneness of the 9-to-5 job. I kind of fucked that up, but whatever. If you are trapped in the 9-to-5 day to day, and you're providing for a family that whatever you may not even be happy with, stay consistent. But you can do so much more with that life. The 9-to-5 office job, dude. You could go to the beach on a random Thursday and just have some fun, meet a girl or something. That's the goal for the podcast, to remind people that there is a world outside of the everyday life and work and etc. Like, people forget about fun, and sometimes it's money constraints, sometimes it's life constraints, sometimes it's family coming up on the wrong whatever. I just wish people had an understanding of what they can do and not be worried about the things that, oh shit, my bills. Everybody's got fucking bills. Like, it's just something that we got. And, whether you live in the United States of America or Europe or wherever you live, like, life can be beautiful. And it's the message, it's the vision that I'm trying to get out there, to encourage people to do the things they want to do, not because they feel forced, but because they want to do them. If you enjoy smoking weed, go smoke a blunt. If you enjoy drinking, go drink a beer. There is moderation. You can't be fucking getting high every day. You can't be getting drunk every day. Well, you honestly can, but it's probably not the healthiest of life decisions. It's probably not the greatest life choice. So all I would have to say to those people is just get your priorities on check. Like, if you got a family, and even if you don't, just don't inhibit the experience for a fellow human being just because you are a fucking asshole. That's all I have to say to you. Life is beautiful, life is everything, vice versa, whatever you want. I am personally about the positive aspects of life. I don't care much for the negative, even though I acknowledge the presence. I try to see past the evil fucking side of humanity, and I try to look for the good things, and I've gotten to a good spot doing that for the majority of my life. I am a pretty well-off person. I am a happy dude at that. And a lot of the times happiness is a weird, intangible object. It's an emotion that everyone feels, along with sadness, anger, even hatred, I guess. But everybody has free will and freedom of decision and all that. And I'm just like, you can be doing so much more than just hating with your free will, with the gift of life. You remain stagnant. And I'm talking about the haters right now. I'm not talking about anyone specific. To remain complacent is the biggest curse, and it's the curse that you give yourself, because you're the one choosing to remain complacent. You're the one choosing to not do the things that you may want to do. Go smoke a blunt, man. Why not? Weed is illegal in the state of Cali, which is where I currently reside, and I have no hate against it at all. I just enjoy life, and God's green gift. Like, it helps you with anxiety, it helps you calm down, like, relax. It's very mellow, and it's something that people, they demonize in modern society. They say stoners are not the greatest people. Fucking Jeff Sessions is on his bullshit trying to send us back to the dark ages where marijuana was still considered a whatever the fuck. Jeff Sessions, whatever, man. Whatever. Maybe you didn't ever smoke weed and you didn't ever experience the positive aspects of life. Maybe you didn't do your studying and research the medicinary uses for it, because you sound like a very ignorant person when you talk about that in wholehearted honesty. And it's whatever. I don't want to get into a marijuana discussion, something that I personally enjoy and I indulge in, because why not? Smoke a blunt if you can. If you can't, get a bong rip, whatever. Weed is just weed. Now you want to get onto some cocaine, heroin type shit, that is where I draw a line, and I say, I don't really fuck with that, because it's made in a lab, it's not natural. Shrooms, weed, drugs that come from nature, even though weed sometimes they do fuck with it a little. It's just weed, like legit, it's just herb that people decide to burn, and there's the argument of that you shouldn't have smoke in your lungs regardless of whatever, and I just say, we shouldn't have fucking cars that drive, but human beings figured that out, right? So why not? In a world of this, that, the other, why not? If you have a dream, if you have a goal to reach, if you want to be a rapper, a musician, etc., if you want to do the things you want to do, you'll never reach that level if you don't attempt, if you don't try to, if you don't sit down and write that song, if you don't sit down and do this, even if it's as simple as recording a podcast. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. And that is not some hippie fucking bullshit. I'm just saying, if you want to strive to be better, then be better. Don't just talk about it. Just lead by example. Don't be the fucking scumbag that I know is in everyone. Because humanity is its own worst enemy. Everybody wants to fight for a weird spot when it's like a fucking rat race. And all I have to say to that is just come on. Like, live life uninhibited. As long as you're not hurting anybody, don't fucking be so judgmental towards yourself. We're all people at the end of the day, just trying to live and just trying to do things. Whether it be art, whether it be music, whether it be anything else, whether it just be even the normal day-to-day 9-to-5 dude. That guy has a goal. He's trying to do something more than just like he got that job to pay for whatever the fuck he likes. And while I respect that, all I have to say is, like I said before, you can do so much more than the everyday, just basic, average. And a part of it is complacency, laziness. It's people's issues, people's own dealings with life, the coping mechanisms that everyone gets. All I have to say is life is beautiful. Life is everything. The gift of life itself is like the best thing you can get from whatever came before us, wherever we got the gift from. The fact that we exist and we have ideas and that we can talk about them in an open world of vast knowledge and intelligence and beauty. I see rainbows in the sky, I see clouds in the sky, and I just say, wow, it's mind-boggling at times. Just to see where we're at. The world outside does exist beyond your home. And I'm getting on some really like Terrence McKenna type shit right now, but that's the stuff I like. I enjoy. I've done psychedelics before. I've dropped acid. I've done mushrooms. I've experienced weird things before, and I have nothing. I don't hate on them. Like, in all honesty, I just think it's people experiencing new experiences, trying to learn about themselves more. And I can't hate on a person like that. Like, it's just, if you're on a journey of self-discovery, trying to figure out, the secret of life, I'll be honest with you and I'll tell you straight up, there is no secret, man. We're just here. We're just living life. Everything is kind of here already, and we're all part of the ebb and flow of the universe. Constant existence, flowing, echoing. Beautiful shit. Like, and if you truly do believe there is a secret, then fucking be my guest, man. Go seek it out. Totally. All I talk about is, like I said, I've been fucking saying how beautiful life is, whatever. I'm probably beating a dead horse at this point. But this has been the introductory episode, the pilot episode of the You Get Me podcast, and I hope you all have an understanding of what this podcast is at this point and is going to be in the future. And I look forward to you guys meeting the co-hosts, because I already know they're good people. I already know they have good ideas and good things to talk about. So it's just, the audience has to want to be here. You guys have to find it. And it's not like, a special key that you gotta find. I'm just a dude recording dude stuff. So I'm like, hey, the funds. Because fun, not funds. Whatever, people. I will catch y'all on the flip side, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this 17-minute. I wanted to go for longer, but I figured this is a pretty good introductory episode, good pilot episode. So stick around if y'all want to hear more of this. If y'all want to hear the babblings of a crazy dude, even though I don't know, maybe I am fucking crazy. I just enjoy life, and that's what I do. So, hey, the Fonz is out. Peace, everybody. Love, namaste, everything. Do yoga.